So we need to look at finding the volume of a cylinder. So a cylinder is obviously a 3D shape, like a glue stick or like a normal water bottle that goes straight down both sides. Okay, or a sellotape roll is even a cylinder shape. Okay, so you've got to imagine that this is 3D. We know that this is the radius and this is the height. And the way you calculate the volume of a cylinder is we ignore everything below here. At the top we've got a circle. So we find the area of a circle, and we know that the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So that's this bit, the circle at the top. And then you multiply it by the height. So we multiply that by h for height, and that then calculates all the space inside the 3D shape. So that is what we're going to use, pi times r squared times h. Okay, so we're going to look at 4 examples of volume of a cylinder. So find the volumes of the cylinders below, giving your answer to 2 decimal places. So we're going to write it out. So volume equals pi times r squared times h. Pi stays the same because that's what we type into our calculator, it's a number, times radius. So my radius here, we can write down the diameter is 8 centimeters and the radius is half the diameter, so 4 centimeters. So r is 4 squared times h. So there's my circle, and I multiply it by how long the circle is spread out. So this length here, which is my 15 centimeters. Okay, I know that 4 squared is 16. And I'm just going to type that in my calculator. So I've got shift pi times 16 times 15 equals, so pi times 16 times 15, 240 pi, but I want the decimal, so S arrow D. So I've got 753.9822369. I then need to change that to 2 decimal places, so 753 point, the 2 makes the 8 stay the same, 98. My units are for volume, so we've got centimeters. Squared is if it's 2D, so cubed is if it's 3D, so I've got to the power of 3, and don't forget that was to 2 decimal places. Okay, looking at this next one, we're going to write down the radius and the diameter. So my radius is 6 millimeters. So my diameter is 12 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to write out my formula. So volume equals pi times r squared, that's the circle on the top, times by h, how far it travels down. Then I can start putting my values in. So pi stays the same because it's a number, times r is 6, so 6 squared, times h, the height is 18 millimeters. Okay, just check that those units are the same as these units, and they are, so we're okay. We know what 6 squared is. It's 6 times 6, which is 36, times 18, equals, and then we can pop that in our calculator. So shift, button for pi, down here, the little yellow pi, times 36 times 18 equals, and we can see 648 pi, so we press the S arrow D button. So we've got 2035.75204. Now we need to sort it out and round it to 2 decimal places. The 2 makes the 5 stay the same, so 2035.75. Remember, it's millimeters, and it's 3D, so it's cubed. So we want the volume inside is cubed, and then 2 decimal places. Okay, next 2. So we're going to write down diameter equals 9 centimeters. So the radius is equal to, well, half of 9 is 4.5 centimeters. You can use your calculator. You can do 9 divided by 2 if we didn't know that. So we've got volume equals pi times r squared, that's the circle on top, times by height. Okay, pi stays the same, it's on our calculator, it's a number. R for radius is 4.5 squared, times the height is 10, just check that the units are the same, and they are, so it's okay, equals, I don't know what 4.5 squared is, so I can just type it all straight in. I can do pi, so shift this button for pi, times 4.5, and then my squared button, times 10 equals, and then I've got a fraction and pi, so I want S arrow D button, 636.1725124 equals, so just to check that it's only my radius that I've squared. Okay, the squared needs to come just after the radius. So now I need to round that to 2 decimal places, so the 2 makes the 7 stay the same, so 636.17. My units is centimeters, but it's volume, so it's cubed, and that was to 2 decimal places. And the last one down here, so we want to write the radius is 5 millimeters, the diameter is 10 millimeters. Okay, we want to write the formula for volume, so we've got volume equals pi times radius squared, which is the circle, times the height. Pi stays the same because it's a number on our calculator, it's just a number. R is 5, so we've got 5 squared, times h, height is 16. Pi times 5 squared is 25, and then I can type that in my calculator. So shift pi button times 25 times 16 equals, so I've got 400 pi, I want a decimal, so S arrow D, so it's 1256.637061, and I need to round that to 2 decimal places. Remember, you can use Google. If you type in 25 times 16 into Google and then do that answer times pi for pi, then Google will tell you if you haven't got a calculator. So that 2 decimal places, the 7 makes the 3 round up to a 4, so I've got 1256.64. My units were millimeters, volume is cubed, and it's to 2 decimal places, and there's your volume.